Hello, dear Queen Boss. Welcome to another episode of the eCommerce Queen Boss podcast today. And this is the very first episode of the new season number 2. I couldn't be more thrilled to share this new season coming up and so much more content and greatness about, helping you to create your e-commerce brand and as well as building the mindset to become a real queen boss in all aspects of your life. If this is the first time joining me, well, hello and welcome to you, sweetie. My name is Sohair Ghanem. I am the host of the e-commerce Queen Boss podcast. I'm also an e-commerce entrepreneur. I'm a keynote speaker and I help queen bosses like you to build their own e-commerce brand through experience and consumer psychology marketing. And so with brand new episodes dropping every Monday and Wednesdays, you are in the right place to learn how to build your own kick-ass e-commerce empire with ease, flow, and grace. I'm just curious. I really want to know where you are bringing me today. Like, where are we together? Are we in your car? Are you in the gym? What are we doing? Come over into my Instagram and drop me a direct message because this is where you will have an access to me and I reply to all of my DMs. So let me know. I'm just really curious. I just speak to you right now. I'm back in the USA soil in Birmingham, Alabama, and I couldn't be more thrilled to be back with you for this second season. In this episode, we are going to talk about personal branding and how to grow your personal brand like a queen boss. I've had the pleasure to interview Caloni Michelle. She is a personal brand queen boss, and we've shared like so much in terms of what you can do today, not tomorrow, but I mean really today, right here, right now, to start building your own personal brand and grow your influence into your life or into your business. So Caloni is a personal branding strategist, and after completing her master's degree in business administration and working in the corporate world, Caloni decided that she wanted to run her own business. Her company, Brandstorm, a personal branding agency, specializes in brand strategy, brand design, social media, and digital marketing. She has been featured in ABC, Fox, NBC, CBS, along with various other radio shows, podcasts, and publications. She works with social media influencers, coaches, authors, speakers, and other entrepreneurs. And the interview is starting right now. Hello, Kalani.
Hi, Sohair. Thanks for having me.
It's a pleasure. I wanted to do that with you like for so long, and we finally found a time to do that.
I know. We need to chat more often.
Yeah, definitely. And I love your energy. So it's a pleasure to have you here. And I'm really thrilled for you to be here and to introduce you to my tribe because I think that you are amazing. So today we are going to talk about personal branding for e-commerce business owners and why it's so important for them. So coming from your experience as being the expert of personal branding, tell us what are the return on investment. When I'm talking on investment, I'm talking about time and money and energy on working on building a personal brand.
Well, building a personal brand is so important. So it's important that we prioritize that. Maybe I'm just a little biased. That could possibly be it. But the business landscape has changed both on the e-commerce side. Even for brick and mortars, people want to feel connected to the brand now. They need to buy into their mission, the social impact that they're having, the social responsibility that the company has adopted, and other areas of the business where they actually feel like they're connected to the business because the market is so saturated in so many different industries that we can buy toothpaste from any company that we want. We can buy shoes from any company that we want. But the way that companies, e-commerce or not, can set themselves apart is by giving the consumer an inside look into the business and inside their mission, inside their values, inside what's important to them so that the consumer feels connected and they're more inclined to buy. I like to say that people will not buy your products and services until they buy into you as the individual. So e-commerce or not, it's just very important to invest the time, the resources, and other areas to build up your personal brand, or to give the consumer an inside look into what your company is all about.
Yeah, absolutely. I love what you said. And that's something I keep saying, that, people they want to connect with other people. And so this is why there's just no hiding behind your products. You still have to have someone, even if it's not you, somebody in your company that will be the face of your company to, allow this connection, this human connection to happen, right? Yeah. So what would you say to the people listening to us? Because I know there are people listening, struggling with that, having confidence or the right type of energy to come and, be the face of their
Well, just in terms of building a face, Sohair, it doesn't have to be you. Just like you said, it could be someone else. It could even be a fictitious character. I think his name was Jared, who was with Subway, who was the face of Subway for a really long time. Do you remember that?
Yeah.
After Jared was no more, I think that's his name. After he was no more, though, the company's sales went down. And the reason why is because consumers no longer felt connected to Subway as they did previously, because they really felt like they were connected to Jared, if that's even his name. So it's the same thing with an e-commerce business for your field. Whether it's the owner, an employee, or just a fictitious character, or somebody that comes and just plays the part for, say, social media, for publications, for commercials, or other ways that we're getting the name of our company out there, it's important to have somebody so that people feel connected. Otherwise, you're just another company. You're just another brand. You're just another e-commerce website. You're just another product. And we can't just be just another anymore. There has to be more to it than being just another.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Because I know that it takes a long time before you get actually noticed online. And so the only way of, breaking through this noise is to be unique, and the uniqueness that you already have within you. I mean, the energy and your personality definitely needs to be infused in the brand, and that's why I want to talk personal branding with you, right? And so, what would you recommend to the people who are shying away from being that face? What do they need to work on?
Putting a face out there, whether it's, them, or maybe a friend that comes in, or somebody that they hire. I would assume a lot of times, especially when people are starting off in the e-commerce business, they don't have the resources to hire somebody, nor can they really get a friend to come over to play the part. So a lot of times the business owner needs to be the face. And how can that person be the face? Really, you just have to put yourself out there. You were talking about how a lot of people lack the confidence, especially in your space, to be able to put themselves out there. Well, think about it this way. Think about if the listener, think about if the only reason that you're not maybe $1 million company yet is because you lack the confidence to jump on Facebook Live, to jump on Instagram Live, to launch a podcast, to just show up on social media because you're afraid of, say, maybe being judged. What if that's the only thing? Just you not having the confidence, being in your own head about it. What if that's the only thing that's keeping you from making $1 million? Really, it's when we think of it on that scale, it's wow, that's dumb. Really, I'm doing that. I'm not making $1 million because of my lack of confidence. So then it starts to be okay, well, you know what? I'm just going to put my big girl pants on and I'm just going to show up on social media. And it's okay because people are going to judge you regardless. A lot of times when people lack the confidence, it's because they feel like they're going to be judged, right? Yeah. So how can, what can you do to combat that? Well, you have to understand, hey, I'm going to be judged regardless. I'm going to be judged if I'm making $1. I'm going to be judged if I'm making $1 million. I'm going to be judged if I don't show up on social media and putting my face out there or my brand out there, or I'm going to be judged if I am. So either way, I'm going to be judged. So what does it like, what does it really matter? So I might as well show up, and I might as well kick butt, and I might as well make a ton of money while I'm at it, and just get over that confidence barrier.
Wow, I love that. You dropped some major knowledge bombs in here, and especially that $1 versus $1 million, which is what everyone wants to have, right? And I mean, I want to talk about energy because I love your energy. So, when you I'm trying to get people to come up more, like doing videos and show themselves more in their e-commerces, because truly, as we just said, this is where the money is, right? And so, how do you get your energy from, and what would you advise to people to come up with that right energy and right mindset when they want to just show up in their business?
Yeah, well, my energy stems from the belief that I have about my identity, about who I am, about how I show up for people, about how I show up for myself. That's where it all stems from, and that's one thing that I've had to put work on, is how can I make sure that I have a strong identity? Because at the end of the day, what matters more than what people think about me is what I think about myself. Mm. So for example, and I think that, people can relate to this, is if people think that I'm like, if I'm a chunky monkey, that maybe that I'm overweight, but if I don't believe that doesn't matter. But if I believe that I'm a chunky monkey, then that's going to affect my mindset. So how can I make sure that my identity of myself is most important and at the core is what I believe and not what other people believe? Because people cannot affect my identity if I don't allow them to. So how can I work on that so then I can improve my mindset?
Yeah, I love that. Yeah, that makes me think of that movie, I Feel Pretty. I don't know if you've seen it. It's just amazing. And basically, it's exactly what you painted there, that chubby girl. And basically, one day after hitting her head somewhere, she just feels so beautiful. And when she sees herself in the mirror, she sees herself as being beautiful. And basically, she goes after what she wants, and she ends up having a boyfriend, having the job of her life, and things like that. And confidence is such an important thing when it comes to getting what you want in life, and especially in your e-commerce business. Mm-hmm. And so, if you still have someone here listening to this podcast and be like, yeah, okay, but I cannot come back on video, or I cannot be doing videos, or I cannot be the face of my e-commerce because XYZ. Give us one last thing to really tackle those limiting beliefs. Like, what would you say to these people?
I would just say, the landscape has changed. The digital landscape, the brick and mortar landscape, it's changed. And so if you want to be successful, if you want to build your brand and your company, if you want to make money, you really don't have a choice. You need to overcome it, and you need to understand, this is a requirement. This isn't a choice. This isn't me, trying to find another way out. This is this is just part of what it takes. And this is what's going to set you apart, because so many people are afraid. So many people don't have that confidence. But when you understand, I just accept this. It's just going to be part of my business going forward. And that's what's going to set you apart, because of your willingness, your strength to be able to do something that 99% of the population isn't. Everybody wants a personal brand. Everybody wants a business. Whether or not they want an e-commerce business. I mean, we all kind of have an e-commerce business. If we're selling on social media, it's still in a sense e-commerce, even if it's a service. So we just have to understand that, we don't have a choice really anymore. People expect to see us on social media. They expect to hear about us, whether it's through a podcast or a video, maybe even a blog post or even just social media posts. They expect that. And so if you're not giving potential clients what they expect and what they want, then they're not going to buy from you.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. And on a personal level, who do you look up to as one of, one or many of your favorite entrepreneurs or icon of all time that, you want to be following their steps?
You know what? And I feel like this is so cliche, but I really do admire Gary Vee. But I admire Gary Vee for him showing up as himself, him not putting on a facade to be someone that he's not, him just showing up. And because of that, people love him, but people hate him. You know, he has that polarity. Some people hate him, but a lot of people love him. So I really admire that. From Gary Vee. In terms of like other people, oh gosh, I'm not quite sure. I mean, there's other people say like John Lee Dumas and Pat Flynn who have just put themselves out there. I've heard Pat Flynn speak in person, and so it was really cool to hear his story about how he wanted to give up, and actually he did give up on podcasting, but then he picked it back up, and he has been very, very successful with it since. And so just having that tenacity to keep going even when you don't want to me is very admirable.
Yeah, absolutely. And both of them are doing podcasts, and definitely Gary Vee covers also e-commerce, you guys, if you're listening. So yeah, absolutely. I love Gary Vee. And as you said, the way that he comes up very, very himself, like not trying to be someone he's not. And he always reminds us that this is what we should be doing, right? So in terms of like, you know, creating your own personal brand, like this is the best way of doing that. That's what I think actually. But like, what would you say to people who like just wanna, you know, like represent themselves and they don't want to like show every, you know, like their real personality or something like that, and they kind of like fall into the trap of inventing a person that just doesn't feel like them?
That's hard, because if it doesn't feel like it connects with you, then you're not going to be passionate about it in the long run. So you have to create this brand image that A, you're connected to, but B, your ideal clients can be connected to also. So if there's not that connection there, it's just not going to last. And so what are there things in your personality that you can bring out to show your ideal client so they feel connected to you? Because our brand is not what we say it is.
Yeah.
The brand of your on the e-commerce side, or your personal brand, or whatever brand it is, it's not what we say it is. It's what the consumer says it is, what the client says it is, what people who interact with our brand say it is. So what do we want them to say? We really have to think about that when we're building a personal brand. Do we want them to feel like our brand is relatable and down to earth and fun? Do we want our brand to feel upscale and luxurious? Mm-hmm. Do we want it to feel kind of like hip hop, cool, kind of like that? I didn't do a very good job explaining that one. But how do we want people to feel when they encounter our brand? And so we need to think about, are there things in our personality that we can bring out? For example, on my social media, I'm very much like, I want to be the girl next door. Like I want to be the person that people feel like they can come to me. I want people to know like, hey, I've been there. I've struggled through life, and it's okay. You can still come out on top. So those are the things that I bring out in my personality. So ways that I go about showing that is I tell stories. I tell stories about what it was like growing up and the things that I had to overcome. I share kind of fun parts of my personality to show the energy so that people are excited to see me, so that they have some hope there. But then they also have that relatability where I'm telling stories of, hey, like, life hasn't always been like this, and life doesn't have to be the way that it is for you right now. Like you can make changes in your life to get to the point where you want to be, but first you just have to take that action. You have to have that confidence in yourself to be able to get there.
Yeah, I love what you said in here, and you touched like a really important subject in here, which is like brand story and brand storytelling, of course. And so what would be your advice for people listening, whether they have started their e-commerce or just started now, like starting over now? How would you tell them to like go about it, like start working on their personal branding or personal story, like brand story, like? With what would you start?
And so here I'm touching on the person that's just starting out, not the person who really understands the direction. So in terms of this, like, you have to show up. You just have to show up. You have to start putting things out there, and you have to understand that at some point you're going to pivot. And then you're going to pivot again. And then you're going to pivot again. But you're never going to get to the points in which you pivot in your business if you don't get started. So you really have to get started, start putting content out there that demonstrates your expertise, that demonstrates your e-commerce business, that demonstrates your personal brand. And then understand there's going to be things that you enjoy more. So you're probably going to pivot. There are going to be things that your consumers want out of you. And therefore you're going to have to pivot again. And it's just part of the process. Pivoting is okay. And you don't have to have it all figured out in the beginning. A strategy is great, but just know you're going to pivot.
Cool. I love that. And this is so relevant, absolutely relevant here. All right, Caloni, where can people find you?
All over the place. I'm on Instagram. I'm on Facebook. So just at Caloni Michelle. So Caloni and then Michelle with 2 L's. I also have CaloniMichelle.com. We have my personal branding agency is Brandstrom. So it's like Nordstrom, but with brand.co, not com.co. Somebody in Europe has the .com. It's like a personal blog or something. So Brandstrom.co. I'm on LinkedIn. I'm on Pinterest. I'm all over the place, but if you find me and you want to reach out and you need a tip, you need help, just send me a message probably on Facebook or Instagram and let me know how you heard about me. And then I automatically know that, we have a common connection. We have a bond.
Awesome. Yeah, people, you should definitely follow her on Instagram. I'm always looking at your Instagram stories, and we were talking about that just before recording. I mean, she's amazing. You should definitely follow her on Instagram. And before I let you go, this is the question I ask to all of my guests in here. What do you want to be remembered for?
I want to be remembered for giving people hope that they don't already have in themselves, to helping them see that they can actually do more with their lives than what they were born into.
This is so beautiful. I love that. Caloni, thank you so much for your time and your expertise and sharing all your beautiful knowledge with us. Thank you so much.
Thanks for having me.
And there you have it. That was an amazing conversation that I had with Caloni. You will find all her links in the show descriptions. And while you're here, I just want to let you know about my upcoming challenge that is coming up really in September, and this is called From Confused to Profitable. So this is for you if, for example, you feel confused or overwhelmed in your e-commerce business and you really want to start working on what's blocking you in your life, in your mindset, and dig deep to understand what's holding you back to make the real money that you really wish to make in your business. And so as you know me, I'm the e-commerce queen boss. This is what I cover, but whether you have an e-commerce or not and you really want to work on the mindset, I am thrilled to let you know that I have completed my NLP practitioner certification, and this is exactly what I'm going to be covering into this new challenge From Confused to Profitable. And so we're going to talk about mindset and especially the blocks, everything that is blocking you right now in your mind to live the life that you really want, to become the leader of your life, whether it's in your business or in your personal life. The link is in the show description. Let me know what you thought about this interview, about the show in general, and about this new season. I am doing my best to come at you with more great content every single week, actually twice a week. So your feedback is definitely very much appreciated. So whether you want to let me know that through Instagram, I respond to every one of my DMs, or if you want to just leave a review on iTunes, Google Play, or SoundCloud, that will be definitely appreciated. I thank you. I appreciate you. Thank you so much for listening until right now. And until the next time, have a blessed day, my dear.